Good morning again, and this is webinar number 43A. And Andy wants to keep talking, but not about mobile anymore, right?
Well, we're going to talk about mobile.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about mobile for sure, and discussing things and going through it. And basically, what I want to kind of go through a little bit here is DevCon 2012 was good. There was a lot of information that was disseminated. There was a lot of fellowship that happened, which I thought was great as well. And I really believe that as a kind of a first one out of the hole for our group, it did fairly well. There was some things that we reevaluated going forward. There was some items and some areas that we know that we need to address and work with a little bit better. And 2013 is going to address those. So we should give, as it says, something for everyone, a blend of a traditional style conference and also the watch over the shoulder. But here's how some of those things is going to work out. We can certainly see that mobile and web are where the major interest is headed, and can see that these are a lot of things where the majority or a good lot of people, quite a few of the people that want a lot more instructional and a lot more capabilities. So we still have to make our living on the, in the Windows desktop world, irrelevant. So what we're doing is that we're going to have something for both groups. So whichever way you have to do your development, however you want to, in the heading of the conference will provide something for you, whether it be mobile, web, and web services. And we will completely cover those three items for sure in the Chatterbox. We will be doing a web interface for the Chatterbox. We will be doing a mobile interface for the Chatterbox. And of course, the desktop will be there also. So you basically get all three. To give you a background on what the Chatterbox is, we had kind of started a system program where I tried to put together, that's about the best way I could put it. I was trying to put something to replace Skype in the way we do things. And let me fire up what I've got here, and you can kind of get a quick see on it. But basically, it started out as this, where we were doing news groups, where you could download, post your questions, get answers, things like this, and chat rooms, having a conference, and advertising, and just whatever else we needed to have. The problem with it is that there was only one database out there, and our across the pond folks as well as down under folks, it really did not run as fast or as furiously as we wished it to be. So the other thing is I'm sorry to say, I just flat did not have enough time at that point to continue to work on other sections of this program to get it out. So by making it part of the chatter, part of the DevCon for 2013. Number one, this is going to be total open source. We will provide monthly builds for whatever we're doing as we move forward that you could download and you'll be able to peruse through as an attendee, whether it be virtual or live. But you'll be able to get the code once a month. That gives us time to develop, but you'll get the code as is once a month as you move forward, and that allow you to see how the code's built, run it in your debugger, do things like that, ask questions, get a little bit more throughput as we move forward. Okay, that's one thing, and that's all three: web, desktop, and mobile. So you'll have all three that you could look through. So the peek over the shoulder, the only difference is that I don't see with the current workload of everything we got that we can do a every evening, 2 or 3 times a week type thing. It will probably be more closer to bi-weekly type, where we go through and show you what we've done, the code going with it, explain what we've done, and then with the download of the source code at the end of the month, that kind of helps us move this thing forward in a more timely fashion so nothing is getting lost. Okay? The Chatterbox is, as like it's stated here, it's a Skype meets Wiki meets forum website application that we should be able to replace our Skype chat group with this, and it allows you to grab stuff out of the Skype, out of the chat, and move it over into your own repository, you know, share things, have presentations of your stuff on the fly to where you can click and basically use an API for video presentation out to a bunch of people, things like this. So we're, you know, it's going to have a lot of nice little features that we can use. The mobile device side will have a lot of the same thing, including the chat room. We're going to use sockets to manage that, and sockets and web services both. This is going to have a component on your desktop, basically, or you can have one if you want to volunteer as being a repeater service. It's basically the way Newsgroups does. They pull information from the main one, and then they have it locally or much more locally so everybody else can see it, and basically it passes it around the world. And we'll be doing that, so there'll be some of that going on too for some of the overseas groups. There will be a monthly webinar and code release for attendees so we can play as we go. We will do as many of the additional ones as time allows and as soon as we finish each section. Okay? Part 2, the conference itself. The conference itself is going to be a more traditional style that we're already used to. Okay? We need to, let me get this up here, sorry. In the morning, we'll have a common session where we will go through different things. And then in the afternoon, we'll have breakout sessions dealing with specific issues. We're kind of looking at doing ActiveX and .NET development. We will do a best of features from for the of the 900 and X some features of version 18 and how to use them. We're going to
all these sessions are interactive, just like the morning sessions. So they're not, you know, it's still not the, you know, the traditional somebody standing up at the top of the room talking to you for 2 hours. Every session is still interactive. You know, you'll walk out of there with code for the features that are shown.
Yeah, that part worked out nicely. A lot of people got some good code and stuff like that. We just want to kind of give you a head up on this thing so that way you can have a lot of the code ahead of time, especially when you're dealing with the Chatterbox and going over it with us. And it's more a collaboration and training as much as anything else. The stuff you didn't know, you know, we can work together on. The stuff that you knew better, you know, say something, you know, things like this, and ask why this was done versus this. because it's all about a collaboration of learning more than anything else. Maximizing the IDE. There's a lot of guys that ain't used the source control. So we want to make sure that they definitely know how to use the offline checkout, sharing the elements between projects, using external components, team development, things like this. So we'll be doing a
code bricks.
Control page
as I have started releasing my my stuff open source, I quickly learned that not many people understand what the hell code bricks are and how to use them, because that is probably the most questions I've had sent back at me is, what's this code brick file?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So we want to...
Maybe you got to just do a webinar on that so you don't get them questions again.
It's a beautiful world he lives in.
Always fishing for a webinar. So we're gonna go into depths on the SCM, branching, setting up the whole 9 yards. Would you set it up locally, or would you set it up on like we've done, a remote server on Rackspace? Things like this. Okay. One of the things that we're going to go through is web service mashups for fun and profit. Since Chatterbox will cover creating, consuming our own web services, but there will be a wealth of other web services in the cloud, and sometimes a guideline for creating an API are treated as suggestions. So there's a huge trend right now, mobile apps, and a lot of them are mashups of 3 or 4 web services, nothing really created on your own. For those that have seen paper.li is one of them. And in fact, that's what sends out some of stuff that we do. Basically, we can show you how to do that, and that's going to focus on using different kinds of web service, both the REST, the SOAP, both. How to deal with SOAP through embedded web services, as well as manual SOAP, where you have to write everything. How to use the SOAP UI utility and the Fiddler 2 utility to find out what's going on. Those are 2 things I think that we're going to go over, is how to use those 2 things, the SOAP UI utility and the Fiddler utility, to tell what is going on within your application as it sends the SOAP, or what you're actually getting from the SOAP, or having to send to the SOAP, and being able to test the web service themselves. So I think that is also needs there. We're also still looking at the pre-conference boot camp. This is we're open doors on what that will be. Suggestions would be great, whether it be a database boot camp, whether it be additional beginners web boot camp like we had last time with Glenn Rathke, or whether it's just a general best practices boot camp. As a couple, 2, 3 suggestions. So we want to kind of look at putting up something up there and getting some feedback on what that would be. Obviously, we'll have some cookouts because we're all old fat men and we got to eat. So we'll definitely have that. We'll have some excursions for your spouses. Conference is going to run from Wednesday to Friday. Mornings are dealing with the Chatterbox, and afternoons are the breakout sessions. Saturday morning is basically a wrap-up, and then send you off to have fun. And this is going to be, we are pushing to put it in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. That is in the Smoky Mountains. It's a beautiful place. It is fun. There's a lot of things for the family to do while you're busy learning something, and there's a lot of different places to walk around and enjoy the sights and stuff in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. If you've never been there, it's an excellent place to go. It's an excellent place to go, and it's not that expensive. We should be able to have reasonable costs for this, because we're not looking to make money. We're looking to make sure everybody can learn something and do the best, get the best out of it they can, and basically have the fellowship that we need to have. Some of the features, as you can see, this is a Project Pro. This is what I use. These are some of the features that we're going to be working with this. On the Chatterbox, my suggestion also is, if you think you're going to come, if you think you're going to attend, whether it be the virtual sessions or not, if you want to, and we're going to publish this anyway. You may not be able to see the code, but we're going to publish this anyway, because this is an entire group. Whether you come to the DevCon or not, we're going to be using this thing. So I want everybody to kind of have a feedback in this of things that they want to see. Whether we have them all built by the DevCon or not, that's a different story. But having all the features we're looking for is going to be important. And right now I've got the news group feature, chat room, the conference training, an advertising section, so that way the folks that are, want to say, hey, I can do this for you, or I can do that for you, you have that section in there. A web interface for it and an Android interface for it. We're going to check version 18 and see how much they provide. Probably will be an iOS interface, but I got to convince a couple people whether they're willing to spend the time helping me convert it over. You get everything, yes, sir. This is going to be, Alan, this is going to be, you're going to get everything, yes. Even if they're not done by that time frame. So even if we're still building pieces on or adding pieces on later, somebody suggests a feature 2 weeks before DevCon, and we say, man, that's cool. We'll just put it in the project and do it afterwards, and just continue the code out there is what we'll end up doing. And what we'll do is we'll turn around and do that for DevCon 2014 is what we'll end up doing. If that's really a big feature or something that we can use, then we might do it for whatever we're doing on 2014. Okay. For the most part, I don't know how many people has ever been to the ETC stuff that used to be. For the most part, this is, these are really not very, they're real reasonable. We don't try to really push a whole lot. So we're looking at building this. Pete's committed. I'm committed. We're going to talk to everybody else and see how committed they are, and that's not necessarily mean insanity. But basically, we're looking at doing that. But the weekend is yours. It will be in a warmer time of year. We're really kind of looking for, we'll have to, just a second, guys. This is Andy. Hello? Yeah. Come on in. I'm sorry, I'm in the office. No, I'm in the office. Bye. I'm going to go ahead talk for a minute, Pete. I got to go out here and talk to this. Somebody's in here to paint my room. So I'm going to give it to Pete for a second.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be talking about.
Whatever you want.
Arnold, you got any questions? Arnold. Arnold.
Hey, so did you want me to switch the screen over to you or what?
No. You got any questions? I mean, I'm sorry, I was actually working, wasn't really paying attention to what he was going on about. So,
well, Alan will have a question for you. So anyway, did you talk to Tim about this yet?
Andy's been talking to Tim and Mark.
Okay.
We've got some ideas and stuff, but it's a little early to
say anything. Okay.
say exactly where and how there yet. Yeah, we're looking for it being, the pre-conference being on a Tuesday, the conference being Wednesday through Friday with the, a Saturday morning kind of send off that frees you up most of Saturday and, Sunday to kind of, we want everyone to be able to bring the spouse and family with them and make it a little more of a vacation. We like getting to see everyone, but some of our wives have gotten to know each other over the years, and they like to see each other too. So
They get mad when we don't bring them along.
We're going to have some events. Belinda and Diane will put together and organize some excursions for the spouses.
Yeah, well, we're going to be putting up a website for it, or a web page and everything for it, Alan, which will have all of that once it gets finalized. These are kind of prelim areas that we've discussed and guidelines, because what we want to do is make sure we got a guidelines and we're moving forward with what we're trying to accomplish, instead of saying, yeah, we're going to go down this path. So we're going to be a little bit more, I don't want to call it rigid, but a little bit more structured, I would say. A little bit more structured is what we're going to end up doing. Okay? And that should help all concerned to learn and take advantage of what we're doing. And there will be a hyperfile component to the whole thing, so we won't be running around saying, well, what about hyperfile? Pete's having so much fun with hyperfile, right? Aren't you, Pete?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Any other questions? Hello, Dan. How are you and the kid? You can talk if you want, Dan, if you got a mic.
Yeah, I turned all the mics on here.
Yeah. So, as we go forward here, here within a day or so, I'll get the download for the Android mobile section of the Project Pro with a log on and everything, demo for this interface, and you'll be able to see how this goes. I'm going to be building a single page, couple of pages that'll do the same thing on the web, so that way you don't have to have the mobile device, but you'll be able to see it on the web too, and follow along on the different pieces and functionality that we're going to be building on this thing. So what you're currently seeing on the screen here as this continues to build and the tasks and stuff comes around, that will be published. And you'll be able to see that. So you'll see what all we're doing. This right here is a community project as far as I'm concerned. Because out of the 100, a little over 100 people we got and are still growing, we need to start thinking about how we can enhance what we're doing for each other and make it better. And I don't see any other way except for a news group style, not necessarily just a news group, but a news group style system that allows us to have the instant interface that we have now on Skype, but also the traditional news group, and then we can add a few more things to it, like sharing code bricks through it, things like that. See what we can do from there.
So that sounds great, man.
I'm trying my damnedest to figure out how to hack into the code brick. Why they won't give us the password to those files, I don't understand.
All I would care about is whether they give us an API to it. They don't have to give me a password.
Something.
Yeah.
Or just give me an import-export function. Something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that probably nobody ever asked.
Time to ask.
They want to keep it password protected because it's a proprietary part of their development environment, but nobody probably asked.
Yeah, it's difficult to say the least.
Yeah.
It keeps a great feature from being truly usable.
Legendary. Yeah. Well, that's all I got this morning. Unless somebody got a question or two, I'll be glad to go over it.
Okie doke.
Charles got in here just in time for us to leave.
Yeah, sorry that Charles. Do you have any questions on DevCon 2013?
Or on the mobile? I'll talk about either one.
So you're talking about the what and the where and possibly the when.
Well, the when, we're not necessarily nailed on the when yet, because we got to get a hold of. In essence, we're still talking about Edgewater. So we got to get a hold of the Edgewater and see, when they have available, if the rates be available. But we are looking at late summer,
early fall.
Season around there is
would
when
have
the leaves
to be.
change.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd have to be after the leaves change.
No, before.
Yeah, either before or after, one of the two.
Yeah. When the leaves starts changing in the state park and everything, I mean, it is just a nightmare through there, so you don't even want to be around. But I think that we can do it a little earlier. That way I don't feel bad about riding my bike up there. And everybody have a nice time in the evenings and stuff because it'll be warm instead of cold. And it'll have decent weather and everybody be having a pretty good time.
Before the bears hibernate.
Yeah, we know how to chase off bears.
Okay. If there's no other questions, beers or bears? I got it. Okay.
Both.
One year we were up there, must have been 4 or 5 bears we saw while we were up there.
Yeah.
Had a couple of them come into the cookout.
Yeah. Best one was Arner. Best one was Arner Ballison. Arner come out of the men's room, one of them outdoor men's room, and there was a bear like 4 feet from him. He just stood there. I said, if I were you, I'd kind of step back in the bathroom. It was funny.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks for everybody for being here today. Be good or be good at it. Have a great Saturday. I will be on Skype. I'm working on stuff, so I'll be on Skype if you have any questions. He's going to post both of these sessions up on wxlive.us website here pretty soon.
Yep.
Should be out here mid-morning. If you are late and wanted to be in the mobile, go ahead and watch it. And if you have any questions, holler at me on Skype, and I'll be glad to show you or talk to you about what you need to do or something like that, okay?
Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll post it up
Great weekend.
shortly. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.